Hello friends, this is Shilpa Banerjee from Skills in It Consulting, and today we are going to talk to you about one of the lessons from the social studies subject of the CBSE board class 4. The lesson is the ups and downs of earth. In this lesson, you will study the various types of landforms and the various types of water bodies. These are the two main topics that we are going to deal with in this lesson. Think landform is the same everywhere. Think. Now, what is landform? Landform is nothing but how a particular piece of land looks. So, do you think land looks the same everywhere? Okay, now let me show you something. Look at these two pictures. Do they look the same or are they different? Just think. If you think they are the same, what are the similarities? If you think they're different, what are the differences? Yes, friends, as all of you must have guessed by now, although there could be some similarities in both of these landforms, predominantly they are both very different. So that is what we are going to study today about the various types of landforms and the water bodies. Let us now study, before we go on to the different types of landforms, what is the meaning of landforms. Landforms are also known as physical features. They are nothing but the things, the features or the forms or the structures that are naturally made on Earth's surface, meaning any structure that is formed on Earth without any human intervention is called a landform or a physical feature. For example, hills, lakes and beaches. Now let's move on to the main landforms or the physical features that is found on Earth. They are mountain range, valley, plateau, island, plain, deserts and peninsula. So these are the 8 main landforms or the physical features found on Earth's surface. Now let us study in detail about each of these landforms. First, we study about mountain. So what is a mountain? I'm sure all of you must have seen a mountain at some point or the other in your life. It is the highest landform on Earth in terms of the height. It has sloping sides and it narrows towards the top, forming a rounded or sharp peak. I hope you understood. Otherwise, don't worry. We have this picture to help you understand. So if you look at this picture, see, this is a mountain that you see here. It slopes on either sides, correct? And if you look at it, it is the highest landform. If you compare it to the other things that are found around, it is the highest, correct? It has slopes on either sides and it narrows towards the top. So if you see here, there is a peak, correct? Sharp peak. So this is called a mountain. Next we move on to mountain range. Mountain range is nothing but many mountains arranged in a series, almost in a line. So if you look at this picture, you can see that there is not just one mountain, there are many mountains that are arranged in a row or a line. This is called a mountain range. The next landform is valley. What is a valley? It is a low area. For example, if you look at this picture, you can see that there is a low area on either side of the mountain. There are two mountains and between that you can see a low area. This low area is called a valley. Most of the times, as you can see in this picture, rivers run through valleys. Okay, the next landform that we are going to talk about is a plain. What is a plain? It's a broad, flat stretch of land that is at sea level. It is generally found at the base of a mountain, along a river or a sea. There are two types of plains, coastal plains and inland plains. It's very simple. What is a coastal plain? The plains near the sea coast are called coastal plains, and the plains found in the interior parts of a country, they are called inland plains. So if you look at this picture, you will understand that it's a flat stretch of land, right? You don't see it being elevated. So this is a plain, and based on where it is found, it could be a coastal plain or an inland plain. I hope you understood. Now let's move on to the next landform. The next landform is an island. What is an island? It's a piece of land surrounded by water on all sides. So if you can look at this picture, you will see that there is land and there is water surrounding it from all the sides, correct? This is what is an island. One term related to island is archipelago. Now, what is an archipelago? It is nothing but a large group of islands close to each other. So, if you look at this picture, you can see it is not just one island, but there are many islands together at some distance, correct? So this is a group of islands close to each other. So this is an archipelago. An example of an archipelago is Lakshadweep Island. The next landform that we are going to talk about is deserts. What is a desert? A desert is a large dry area of land which receives little or no rainfall throughout the year. And because of this, the vegetation is scanty. Because there is no water, most of the plants cannot grow. There are two types of deserts, hot deserts and cold deserts. So if you can look at this picture, it is a hot desert, and picture B, this is a cold desert. Now let us study in detail about what is a hot desert and what is a cold desert. The hot desert. A hot desert is a desert that is covered with sand, and you see a lot of sand dunes on hot deserts. Now what are sand dunes? They are huge hills of sand formed by the winds. The animals that are found in hot deserts are camels, snakes, lizards and rats, because these are the animals that have adapted themselves to survive with very little water. That's why these are the animals that are found in the hot desert. An example of hot desert is Thar Desert. If you look at this picture, you will get an idea about what a hot desert is. You can see that it is covered with sand. It is very dry, large stretch of plant. Cold desert. A cold desert is also a desert, but it is covered with snow and not with sand. It receives rainfall during the winters. The animals found in cold desert are penguins, whales, and fur seals. The temperature here is very, very cold, and these are the animals that have adapted themselves to survive in a very cold temperature. So if you look at this picture, you will know what exactly a cold desert is. You can see that the entire area is covered with snow. One example of a cold desert is Gobi Desert, Mongolia. Next, we move on to the next landform, which is peninsula. What is a peninsula? It's a piece of land covered with water on all the three sides and land on one side. The difference between island and peninsula: island is covered with water on all the four sides, whereas peninsula, it is covered with water on only three sides. So if you can look at this picture, you can see that there is land that is covered with water on three sides and there is land on the fourth side. So this is a peninsula. Most of the peninsulas have a cape. Now what is a cape? It is a tip of a land extending into the water body such that it provides a view of the sea on all the three sides. So in this picture you can see a cape that gives you a view of the all the three sides of the sea. Some of the examples of peninsula are India and Florida in the USA. So I hope you're clear about all the landforms that we studied. Now we move on to the second topic of this lesson, which is various water bodies on the earth. So now let's move on to water bodies. Before we start talking about the different water bodies, let us first try to understand what is the meaning of a water body. Now, as we all know, the earth is covered with water in different forms. So, these are called water bodies. So, wherever you find water in whichever form, these are all called water bodies. These water bodies can contain either salt water or fresh water. So what is salt water and what is fresh water? It's very simple. Salt water means water with high levels of salt, which is found in oceans and seas. Because of this, we can't drink the water from the oceans and seas, right? And we have fresh water. Fresh water means water with little or no salt, usually found in lakes, rivers and streams. So this makes it suitable for drinking. Let us study what are the different water bodies that are found on earth. There are oceans, seas, lakes, rivers, streams, waterfalls, bay, lagoon and strait. So these are the 9 main water bodies on earth. Let us talk about each of them in detail now. First, let's talk about oceans. What are oceans? Oceans are vast, meaning very big, deep salt water bodies that separate continents from one another. Oceans are home to a variety of plants and seaweeds. Those are also kinds of plants and thousands of sea creatures, meaning many animals like sea urchins, whales, sharks, octopus, and a variety of fish, snakes, and squids. Oceans are important channels of transportation. Oceans contain millions of tiny, meaning very small, dead animals called coral polyps, which form beautiful coral reefs. Just for your information, Australia has the largest coral reef in the world. So you can look at this picture. This is an example of an ocean. It's a large water body. The 5 oceans on Earth are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and the Southern Ocean. Let's move on to the next water body, which is sea. What are seas? They're just like ocean. They're also big water bodies, but they're smaller than oceans. Examples of seas are Red Sea, Black Sea, Arabian Sea, Caribbean Sea, and Mediterranean Sea. Most seas flow into ocean, meaning they meet the ocean and it becomes one with the ocean. For example, the Arabian Sea merges means it mixes with the Indian Ocean. And again, just for your information, the largest sea on earth is the South China Sea. So you can look at this picture. This is an example of a sea during a sunset. The next water body that we are going to talk about is lakes. What are lakes? Lakes are water bodies surrounded by land on all the sides. It is the exact opposite of islands. So if you can just recollect, islands are land forms surrounded by water on all the sides, and lakes are the water bodies surrounded by land on all the sides. That's why we say lakes are the exact opposite of island. Some of the examples of famous lakes are Lake Baikal, Lake Michigan, and Dal Lake. Most of the lakes contain fresh water, but a few lakes like the Salt Lake in Utah are saltwater bodies. The picture that you see here is an example of a lake. The next water body is rivers. Rivers are flowing water bodies that usually end up in an ocean or a sea. When we talk about rivers, we talk about two parts of the rivers, that are source and the mouth of a river. A source is a place where a river starts, usually located on mountain tops. So in simple words, it's nothing but a birthplace of the river, the place where it originates or starts its journey, that is called as the source, and most of the times it is the mountain tops. And there is another part of the river which is mouth. It is called a mouth of a river. It is the place where a river ends its journey, that usually meeting a larger body of water such as a sea or an ocean. So its journey starts with the source and ends with the mouth of a river. Normally fertile plains, fertile means soil that is very rich in minerals. So fertile plains are found along the path of rivers because the rivers deposit rich soil called silt, which is great for farming. That is the reason we see many of the agricultural lands around the rivers. So if you look at this picture, this is an example of a river. It's a flowing water body, which is very evident in the picture. So because it is very fertile, you can see vegetation or greenery on either side of this river. There are two types of rivers, snow-fed rivers and rain-fed rivers. This classification is based on how a river is formed. Snow-fed rivers are rivers whose source are snow-capped mountains. So when the snow melts, water flows down forming the rivers. The snow gets converted to water and it flows down, thus becoming a river. Rain-fed rivers are the rivers formed by the seasonal as well as monsoon rain. So normally when it rains, the water gets accumulated on mountains, and when they flow down, the rivers are formed. So these are the two types of rivers. So normally they're found in hilly areas and the water flows down forming rivers. These are the two examples. The first picture that you see is of a rain-fed river, and the second picture that you see is a snow-fed river. The next water body that we are going to talk about is a stream. A stream is a natural flow of water moving between banks. The difference between a stream and a river is a stream is smaller than a river. So you can see this picture here. There is a small quantity of water that is running between the banks. So that is a stream. The next water body is a waterfall. As the name itself suggests, a waterfall is water falling from a height which is formed when a river flows over an edge of hard rock and falls from a great height. They make beautiful tourist spots. And just for your information, Angel Falls in South America is the world's highest waterfall. What you see in this picture is a waterfall. So if you see this is a water, there must be river somewhere here on top that is flowing. So when it reaches a place like this, it falls down, thus creating a waterfall. So this is a waterfall. The next water body is a bay. Now what is a bay? It's a body of water that is enclosed by land on three sides. So if you can recollect, this sounds like exact opposite to peninsula. A peninsula is a land that is covered by water on three sides, and the bay is a body of water that is enclosed by land on three sides. On the fourth side, the bay joins an ocean or a sea. So if you can look at this picture, what do you see here? This is a water body, right? It is covered by land on all the three sides. So towards this side, this and this, it is covered by land. On this side, on the fourth side, it joins the sea or an ocean. So this, what you see here, is a bay. The next water body is lagoon. What is a lagoon? It's a shallow body of water, just like a lake, which is separated from the open sea by sand or rocks. So if you look at this picture, it looks like a lake. The only difference is it should have been a part of a sea or an ocean, but because there are these rocks in between, that part of ocean has accumulated here, which gives it a lake-like formation, and this is a lagoon. The next water body is strait. What is a strait? It's a narrow stretch of water that joins two larger water bodies. For example, the Park Strait near India separates the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean. Thank you. I hope the explanation was clear and you understood what we studied today. For more information and the solved exercises of this lesson, please visit our website skillzenith.com. Bye for now.